What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. This is In Camp Podcast, and I'm your host, Aaron Hepler. Today on the show, we have a newfound fishing friend of mine, Dave Norman. Dave is a bass fishing nut, and let me tell you, he catches the little ones, he catches the big ones, everything in between, and he doesn't even have a style. This guy really fishes the gamut because he just wants to learn everything he can and not limit himself to one specific technique. And he does it on highly pressured waters in Pennsylvania, deep, shallow, weedy, rocky, whatever you want to call it. Dave can do it. He's been sending me the pictures, and he doesn't tell fishing stories. You know what I'm talking about. You know, they get bigger every time. He doesn't tell those. They're for real. So we talk about his boat purchase in the past, what went into that decision making. We talk about different techniques, different scenarios, and a little bit of tournament fishing too. So I hope you enjoy. This is In Camp Podcast.
So I think more time in the woods is a lot more damaging. You know, people say you can't kill them on the couch, but I believe you can. Or I'll just, go, if I want to hunt, I'll go, bird hunting, or I'll do something. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of being a pretty well-rounded sportsman is we don't have to just hunt deer. You know, you're into everything, man, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today because obviously we probably love deer hunting the best, but we love a lot of different stuff. I mean, you got 2 bird dogs, you're a bass fishing fiend, and that's probably what we're going to dig into the most here because it's summertime, cool. And we're definitely going to have you on and talk deer. And today is going to be bass fishing because I'm ready to bass fish a little bit. And you've been giving me the itch, man. You're sending me all these pictures. We're going to talk about that. So what we've been talking about here, just the small talk is, again, we are chopping it up on all the hobbies we have and the time that we have to manage them. So without dragging this part on too long, I have on the other end of the line a new buddy because of Troy Dietrich. I've met so many people through Troy. Mr. Dave Norman.
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Dude, I was excited to have you on. I have a lot of friends that like to seriously bass fish. Some of them, everybody's at different levels when it comes to fishing, and that's easier than hunting, right? Like when you're hunting, trying to teach somebody how to hunt is not nearly as easy as it is to teach somebody how to fish. Because if you get frustrated after a while, you can just be like, okay, here's your rod. I'm going to tie this up. Now cast over there. You know what I mean? And hunting is not quite like that.
No, it's definitely it's easier to, depending on obviously the level of somebody like a beginner, it's easier to teach them how to fish. But as you dive down the rabbit hole, it can be a lot like deer hunting, especially when fish definitely start getting pressured. You can see how they're really, really, really subtle on what they bite, how they bite.
Yeah.
And it's basically a lot, I compare deer hunting to fishing a lot because it's just like, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, that's a definition of insanity. And that's a lot like bass fishing. Like if you're the 21st person that went down the bank throwing a chatterbait, the chances are they're not going to hit the chatterbait. So, you got to change it up just like anything.
Yeah, exactly. You could still go down that same bank, but it's not going to fish the same. So, with that, I'd love to hear just a little bit about Dave Norman. We already talked about your work, but what was your introduction to the outdoors?
So, I would say I can remember my dad growing up. My dad always fished. So I can remember when I was 3, 4, there's pictures of me with him, and he always bass fished. And there's pictures of us just together, and I don't really remember being there, but I could see pictures of me there and my dad holding a 6 or 7 pound largemouth. So like that was probably my introduction to like being out in the outdoors. And then once I got about 6, I kind of got interested into hunting. I had like my uncles that hunted. My uncle, on my dad's side, and then my uncle on my mom's side, they hunted. And my dad used to hunt when he was younger, but then my older brother at the time uh, was like a really good high school wrestler and was getting ready to go to Division 1. So like all my dad's free time went to like tournaments, stuff like that. So he didn't really hunt. And then once I kind of started getting into uh, hunting, um, my dad took a notice of that, and then he got back into it. And then, I mean, that was it. That was it, man. That's where my addiction started, to just being in the outdoors. But it's more than just more than just like, I don't care if I catch fish. I don't care if I shoot something. It's just more or less just being out there and just enjoying time by yourself and enjoying time just in the oasis of nature. It's insane. It does so much for your mind.
Yeah, I agree. Do you remember what really hooked you into the fishing thing? Or maybe a first fish catch, or, when you're just like, I love to fish?
I mean, my mom would tell me like when I was younger, my dad would go out and he had like a 12-foot John boat with oars, right? And
We had one of those, yeah.
yeah, they're great. As long as you remember to put the plug in them, right? That's the number one rule of boating. Is
The one
don't
we
forget
had
the
didn't
plug.
have a plug.
Oh yeah, you're lucky. Yeah, so I remember like my mom telling me stories. I was like 3 years old, and my dad would be out fishing for like 6, 7 hours with me on the boat, and my mom was like, and my mom was like, was he bad out there? My dad's like, no, he didn't complain. Like he fished the whole time. So like, I don't know. I think some things are just born in you. I really do. I don't really ever have a moment of like that's what hooked me. I think I was just born to be in the outdoors. I was born to be an outdoorsman. I was, and like growing up, like fishing, like I was so uneducated about fishing compared to what I am now of like what I've learned and what I love to just I listen to podcasts. If everybody wants to get into fishing, like Tactical Bassin is on YouTube. They are unbelievable. They have a ton of information.
A great guy, yeah. Like that guy.
Yeah, I highly recommend watching them. But I would say what really, so like I didn't grow up like I did sports and stuff, but like I didn't grow up with like video games. Like I wasn't allowed. I had to play outside. Like I wasn't growing up like playing. So like to me, the freedom, I guess, of like getting on my bike with my fishing poles and my tackle box and just riding to the lake. Or like where I grew up, the river. I fished the Dover River a lot because I grew up in the Poconos. So, it was just kind of like I kind of felt like at 9, 10 years old, like, I had the freedom to go fish, and that's what really, I guess that's what really drove me. It was just like a freedom. I was just doing something I had a passion for, and it was my way of coping with life at that time, I guess.
Yeah, that's so relatable, man. I was really the same way. Like we didn't have cable TV. I wasn't allowed to play video. Like I didn't have a gaming station. I still don't own one. I'm not a fan. Like
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't need that. But this might be a little bit different. I was homeschooled, right? And we would watch for like the trout stocking truck and like. But I remember being like maybe 12, 14 years old, probably that age, and telling my mom, I'll do my schoolwork, but only after I catch 3 trout. And I'd like ride my bike to the spots that I'd like to go and catch my 3 trout, and then I'd come home and do my schoolwork, and then I'd go back out right away as soon as it was done, or as soon as the stocking truck got there. We'd watch out the window.
I think one thing like kids lack these days is like an imagination too.
Yeah.
And I think they get that from not being like, they have so many things to entertain them, and they don't allow their imagination to entertain them. And I think that's
I
bad.
agree.
I don't know. I just think that helped.
Then when we're relating this to fishing, you look at like the trend in forward-facing sonar. I'm not a giant fan of that, you know. Like, it's kind of taken.
Yeah,
away
we've had
from
that
the point of
conversation a
fishing.
little bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I think
But here's the
there's
thing too. Like Sorry, I was thinking
no
too because I
go.
was like, man, when you asked me to do this, and I'm like, man, he's gonna bring up forward facing sonar, and I'm not for it. I do think it takes away fishing, but then I'm like, well, am I a hypocrite because I have cell cameras,
I think they're different,
right?
and
I try to justify they're different, but I mean, they're showing you where the deer are. They're showing you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it shows you where the fish are.
Yeah.
I don't know. You still gotta get in the
I-
bite. You still.
I
Gotta
think
do
it
It's
depends
just
on how
tough.
you use this. It really depends on how you use a cell camera, right? If you're like if
Yeah.
you're somebody who owns property and you're saying, oh, you know, Hank the Tank is on the back field back there. I'm gonna go kill him. I've never used a camera that way. I don't know how many
No.
people have that application. They're not security cameras. You can get security info from them, but they're not live time. You could take a live picture or something, but it's not the same as watching a security camera, right?
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, I
if-
agree. Yeah,
if
like
I-
live scope, you're like staring at the fish.
Yeah. If I got a picture of a deer on a cell cam, by the time I get there, that deer is long gone. And maybe he's in the area,
Oh yeah.
but I'm already planning to hunt that area, hoping that he's in the area. Maybe the cell cam gives me a little more confidence, or saying like, oh, this deer's been hanging out in here more, whatever. I think they're different. I think it kind of sucks that they're allowed to use them in tournament fishing, because instead of learning how, I think if live scope went down or forward facing sonar went down, or they took it away for a day of a tournament, those guys who are rely on it would not do that well, because I think they're missing the point of, you know, where the fish are transitioning at what time of year. They're missing all that stuff. Plus, they're missing everything that's happening on the lake. I mean, in tournament fishing, they're doing it for their livelihood, so it's a little bit different, but it's still. I guess for a while, if you were to compare this to another sport, it's fun to watch a guy crush home runs that has taken lots and lots of steroids. It's pretty cool for a while, but then after a while, you're like, it's not real. Like, I don't think he could have hit that many without him.
Yeah.
You know?
It's tough too because I've been dabbing in. So they do some like local bass fishing tournaments by me, and I've been dabbing in a little bit. Like they do like these Wednesday night lunkers and stuff, and it's fun, but it's almost hard. It is hard to compete when you don't have it. I mean, I know where to look and I know where to fish, but these guys are literally sitting on brush piles, and they could see that. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a 6-pounder down there, and they just sit there and sit there and sit there and sit there
Until they catch
and
it.
eventually they catch it. And then it's like, okay, where I'm pounding creek channel bluffs and hitting like ledges, and I get them. I catch big fish doing that all the time. But it's a little different when you have 4 hours, and it's like, well, this guy's sitting 4 hours on one 6-pounder to win it, and he's gonna get it eventually. It's gonna happen. So it is tough. It's almost like keeping up with technology, and it's almost like a lot of people. I feel like they have to. Where I used to feel that way. I used to feel that way a lot when, especially when, like I said, when I had social media. Like it's like, oh, I have to have that. I have to, I have to go get this camo because it's this and this. Like now it's just like, man, you know how many deer I've killed in like blue jeans and like just a flannel.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
it is crazy.
I think if they keep it going for tournament fishing, especially when it comes to bass fishing, saltwater might be a little bit different. Fish act differently there. There's not as much structure for fish to hang on. There's a lot of suspended kind of things, whatever. That's great. I think people are going to get bored.
Well, I mean, it already is happening. I mean, if you look at like the people like it's just attending. I know like Bassmasters Elite. I know, like, if you look at the people going, like, it's and they're even the memberships. Like, I listened to a podcast I think the other day, and it was like Bassmasters memberships like have declined, like especially
Yeah,
your older
because nobody knows
generation. They're just
anything
not
about fishing
renewing.
anymore. Yeah, I loved getting
No.
a Bassmaster magazine and learning about the newest
Yeah.
technique and why it finds you fit.
Yeah.
Like the forward facing sonar of yesterday was a jerk bait. You know what I mean? You had
Uh-huh.
you had side
No,
imaging, down scan.
it's a ball head minnow.
Yeah,
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 that's what they're using now. It's all
yeah,
minnow.
yeah, yeah. And
Crazy. But I would
I,
I would say that it was nice to see. So like Major League Fishing, the guy who won it this weekend, he caught it on a buzzbait, and
yeah,
he won it. I don't know if you saw it, but he beat Jacob Wheeler with like 20 seconds left. He needed like I think 3 pounds to take or he needed like 6 ounces to take the lead, and in the last 20 seconds he catches like a 5.4 on like a
yeah,
buzz bait, and it made you feel like, okay, they weren't using it because they're only like Major League Fishing only allows you to use it one period
right.
compared to like Bassmasters,
Yeah, and
it was
that's
like
where
they were actually fishing, and it made it competitive, and
yeah,
it just brought it back a little bit, just a little bit.
yeah.
It's like, okay, it can still be done.
I think they're smart in doing that
Yeah.
because I agree. I think Bassmasters, they're gonna start seeing numbers go down. People aren't like it's fake. Like it's not fake. Obviously, people are
Yeah.
catching fish, but it's an artificial way of learning about the thing you're after. And I'm less against it for fishing in a tournament than I am for you going out on your everyday fishing trip. It defeats the purpose of fishing. I don't go
Yeah.
out fishing to catch.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I want to catch fish, but I'm not. I'm not going catching fish. I'm going fishing for fish, and I want to fish.
Yeah,
You know,
I think it just takes
enjoy
the
time.
thrill out of it too.
Yeah,
It just
I
takes
agree.
like the excitement, the thrill. Like, I don't know. I just it's like yeah. I mean, half the time too. Like, I'll be honest with you, when I'm out fishing, I mainly look at my like I have like side scan, down imaging,
Yeah,
3D sonar. I have that, but that's mainly just to see the bottom structure, honestly, or
Yeah.
like just to see what's on the bottom. If it's a hard bottom, soft bottom, is it where mud meets rock? Is it where rock meets
yeah, and that's
weed bed? Just give me something.
yeah, and that's more scouting than you're not live. You're not staring
yeah.
at your screen when you start fishing. You're driving around looking for different things and that kind of thing, and then marking where that's at, looking at your contour. It's the same thing as scouting a deer, right? Like you're looking for points and, like you said,
Yeah.
ledges and creek channels and things that might hold current or hold a bass behind
Drainages,
it.
man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I catch so many bass in creek drainages. It's the same like deer hunting. One of my favorite places to hunt is at the top or bottom of a drainage, or a transition. It's like, I mean, and they're all. I feel like all animals have use the same, structures, whether they're underwater or above water. Like they relate. There's a reason why. You just got to figure out why, and figure out how you're going to approach it.
Yeah, and
Just
it
like
also
anything.
depends. It depends
It's
on the
crazy.
fish too, right? Like all fish are
Yeah.
are really predatory, but you have a different level of, like, a pike is a predator fish, like a prime predator fish. I feel like
Yeah.
bass and like panfish and walleye, they act more like a deer, right? And then you have
Mm-hmm.
like pike and chain pickerel and muskies that are acting more like a bear, wolf, and a coyote, because they're looking
Yeah.
for those
Yeah.
other fish comparatively. So you can kind of think about that when you're doing your lake scouting, and you can do this with a really basic electron. I don't have really good electronics. I have it's a Piranha 500 series or something. It's still black and white, and it's like a 5-inch screen on my little 2008 John boat
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Or it's an aluminum bottom bass boat, but at some point I'd really love to use the side imaging, because that stuff is money when it comes to
Yeah.
to scouting a lake.
It is. I mean, you can legitimately. I mean, that's side imaging is unbelievable. It is a learning curve, and I'm still learning. I've only had it for like a year, and I'm still learning. you kind of got to understand like how the shadows work on it.
Yeah.
Like it might be a stump, and you see like a shadow, you think that stump's that long. Well, no, you're just seeing like the front of the stump on the side imaging, and that's a shadow going behind it.
Yeah,
and then like
exactly.
you can see fish on it. You can see the air bladders, or like shadows. You can see them like little white specks. But again, it's just a little white speck of the air bladder, and you don't know if that's a perch, a catfish. You don't know what it is.
We used it for we used a lot of we use a lot of side imaging for stripers, and that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
When you find a school of stripers and they show up on side imaging, you're like, oh, we found them. You know, it's a lot of.
Well, one tip, real quick. One tip I want to give. One tip I want to share is that helped me is even if you don't have any sonar and you have a boat and you go out, if you go on Google Maps and you go to the lake you're fishing and you go back into like historical data, time lapse, and you go back, you can see when the lake was drained, and you can see a lot of good structure and points that you can like just now put a pin on, and just remember like, okay, I remember this point comes out and it tapers off to rock to pebble rock to gravel to mud. Well, that's a great transition to find bass or any fish, honestly. Yeah.
Now, are you on your prime lake? Are you fishing just largemouth? Are you fishing smallmouth as well?
So I mean, most of the time, if smallmouth will basically hit the same stuff as largemouth. I have caught in some good smallmouths. There's not as many as there is largemouth, but when you catch them, they're usually pretty good. I think last year my biggest smallmouth I pulled out was like a little over 5.
Okay, so that lake has them though.
Oh yeah, that lake has them. Tons of large, big largemouth. And it's getting more popular because more people are picking up on it. I think I was out Sunday and, I pulled into the boat launch at 5:30 in the morning, and usually I'm like the first one there, and there was already 4 boats ahead of me, and by the time I left, there must have been 25 boats and trailers at the parking lot, and that's like they have 3 boat launches, so.
Oh man.
It's just it gets a little pounded.
Yeah.
It's highly pressured. I always say like if you can go and not get skunked on that lake, like I may fish 6 hours, and I may fish for 5 bites in that 6 hours, but usually one of those bites, if not 2, are going to be over 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
And I'd rather catch quality than quantity any day.
Yeah, when it comes to bass,
I'm out there.
I think there's a good mix, right? Like, and that's why you have Major League Fishing, because every fish counts. But it's cool to see. It's cool to catch a big one when it comes to bass.
Oh yeah.
I've been doing all the crappie fishing, and
that's it.
I like catching big crappies too. That's fun, catching a big one. But just numbers, you're really going for numbers when you're doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, but, I think at the end of the day, fishing is just, it's fun regardless. The other night, me and my wife went down, and just, we were like, last hour, let's go down to the creek, see if we can catch some trout. And we ended up catching like 25 trout. And
yeah, that's fun.
But it is fun, but after a while, I was like, every cast, I'm like, there's just something different about like a challenge, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
It's
yeah, absolutely.
Like, especially fishing harder, it's like deer hunting. Like, you can go shoot that 1.5-year-old 90-inch 8-point, or you can not shoot them, and you can go challenge yourself to shoot a 4.5-year-old that's 130, 140-inch, and 9 times out of 10 he's going to beat you. So, but all you need is that one chance. So I don't know. It was fun. I love trout fishing as well, but there's just something with me, and that comes from my competitive nature, is just a challenge. I do enjoy fishing.
I think for me, stuff like deer hunting is doing it in a new place. That's something I really enjoy. But then the other thing when it comes to fishing, I've never specifically targeted just crappie. This is the first time I've ever done like. Usually it's like, oh, we're gonna go pan fishing, and we were throwing small baits and earth, night crawlers or whatever. Yeah. This is the first year that I'm going crappie fishing, and I figured it out pretty good. So that's fun too, like that, because that's part of the challenge. We caught some really good ones too. We didn't measure any of them.
Oh, but you sent me some pictures. There were some slabs.
I'm assuming some of them were close, like in the 18-inch range.
They're gonna eat good.
Yeah, we had some fish tacos last night. They were delicious. So
man,
we're gonna kind of start. I know we're already pretty far into this, but I guess we can talk about like your style of bass fishing. Do you always fish the same lake, or are you fishing a couple different lakes?
So I fish the same lake probably because I haven't fully mastered it. And I'm kind of stubborn in that way of like, once I feel like I've gotten it down, then I'll go challenge myself again. But it also is 11 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So it's conveniency too, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of these other lakes, I mean, I have a 17-foot bass boat, a Crestliner, and I got the boat because my home lake has a horsepower restriction. So
yep.
I got the boat with the horsepower restriction, so it's all rigged up. And then like some of these other lakes I'd love to go out on, but I mean, a 20 horsepower restriction when these guys are driving 250 Mercuries around.
Yeah.
I don't have the horsepower. I mean, I could definitely go hit like Beltsville. There's a couple other ones that are close to me, but I don't know. I enjoy going. At the end of the day, I don't care if I'm fishing a pond, a lake, a river. I grew up fishing a river. I still sometimes go down to Delaware to catch fish. But I don't know. As long as I'm fishing, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about buying your boat? What went into your decision making process for that?
So
obviously,
me and my wife.
You said your horsepower restriction, but
yeah. So me and my wife, I don't know. We were just planning like a vacation and where we wanted to go, and we're like, oh, we'll travel here and we'll go there, and it came out to like a couple $1,000s, and I'm like, man. And to back up a little bit, like she likes to fish. I got her into fishing, and she enjoys it. Mainly, I think the first time she went fishing, she caught like a 23.5-inch brown trout, and that just hooked her.
That'll do it.
Like beginner's luck, like I gave her like one of the worst lures I have because I'm like, she's gonna cast into a tree, and what do you know? She hooks like a 23-inch brown trout, and then that was it. She was hooked. So like, I don't know, just fast forwarding, we were sitting down, I'm like, hey, like, we spend all this money on like trips and this and that, and like the only thing we have to show for is like a memory and a picture. I was like, we both love the water, we both love fishing, I was like, why don't we just get a boat? And instead of going on a vacation, like, we just take that money and put it down on a boat, and we have it forever, and we can be out there forever, and we have something to say, like, hey, we don't just have a picture, we have pictures, and we have the boat, and we have the memories. Like, it's just something you can actually have and like forever instead of just a week in Jamaica. So that kind of made our decision to get the boat. And then, I mean, I love it. If I can be out on the boat, I'm out on the boat. I try and get out as much as I can. But I'm not selfish of the things and priorities. I know what needs to be done. And that's a big thing too, making sure everything's done at home. This way I can go do what I love to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Did you? Well, you kind of talked about the buying plan. So, Did you get into tournament fishing right away when you got a boat, or were you kind of just new to that, or?
No, I've always wanted to do it. So I got the boat, and then I spent all last year just really trying to just understand the lake, because I'm like, these guys have been fishing this lake and doing these tournaments for years. Like, they know every offshore brush pile, they know every channel swing, they know. I don't even know how to read a fish finder at this point. So I just really poured into just really, studying the lake, just doing a lot of research, and I knew how to fish. I knew how to catch fish. I just didn't know where to catch them in the lake. And this year I linked up with a guy, and he doesn't have a boat, but he loves to fish, and I was like, hey, like, let's start off with the buddy tournaments, and let's start off with the lunker tournaments, and then go from there. So we just started doing them. Now they're closed right now because of the spawn, but they open back up in June. So yeah, we'll see. It's not nothing crazy. I think it's like $80 for like an entry. It's you're not going out there to get rich. You're going out there just to compete and have fun. So,
Yeah,
but people take it pretty seriously.
Yeah, they do, man. I mean, I've seen some anglers go out on a local lake. My daughter used to love to watch the bass boats go out for the tournament. And there's probably 40 boats that compete in the summer tournaments at this lake. And these guys rip out of there. And there's all these recreational people on jet skis that don't know how to swim. And you're like watching them. All of a sudden it looks like the lake is going to flip itself over. All these bass boats are going out.
Even driving a boat, like there'll be 35, 40 boats in these tournaments at times, and even whenever they're launching, they're calling your number to launch, and like even driving as they're going, it can get like a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I know the lake that I put my boat in, I have to get it out during the summer. There's 2 lakes where I live, and in the summer I have to get off. There's like an electric motors only lake, and there's a bigger lake close by, and you have to get off the big lake by like 10:30 during the summer. And you can fish in the evening again, but usually, especially on the weekend, some days during the week are fine, but most of the time you have to get off the lake by 10:30 because it is way too rough for my
it's the same for like not so much rough, but it's just it gets really crowded. It's like usually summertime it's starting to get close, but like once we start getting June, like 10 o'clock, 11 tops, I'm out.
Yeah, this is pontoon boats with 350s and bay liners. And everybody is water skiing, and they're just doing circles. So there is giant wakes everywhere. I've almost dove my boat under a couple wakes. You have to really get to be careful. A serious boat driver. It really is. Quick.
Yeah, it'll test you quick. Like I deal with a lot of sailboats.
Yeah.
So they have like a sailboat school where they teach people how to, and like they're teaching these people who've never done a sailboat. Like, I've had some close calls where it's like, is he turning? Is he turning? Is he turning? And it's like, I'm getting ready to jump, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, I only have a 20 horsepower. Like, I ain't ripping out of here that quick. Like, I can get, a little over 20 miles an hour, and it's just me on the boat. But if I have, like, me and somebody else, like, 15, 16. Yeah. Plus, I have too much gear, too, so.
I fished that lake once, and they were doing, like, some kind of rowing. They had those big long canoes, and they were competing, or not competing, they were practicing, and that the big megaphone, and I'm there just trying to fish.
Yeah.
And I think I was fishing a hump that was kind of off a point. There was a little hump, and they kept having to. I was like, dude, use the other side of the lake. I'm fishing. Like, and they're like,
I get that all the time.
Go ahead.
They do that all the time. Like they have a lot of like paddle boarders where they stand on the paddle and they just go right in front of you, and you're like, oh man, it's just common courtesy and etiquette.
People don't get it. Yeah, I fished at at a musky lake that's probably not very far from you, and people, you'll be casting at like a lay down or something, and people will literally ride their kayak between you and whatever you're casting at. And I'm like, my line's still in the water. Like, thank you, appreciate that. But they don't understand.
You even get that with people with boats.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't really understand that you're fishing. Some people are just out there, oh, I thought you were fishing on the other side. I'm like, well, I'd be turned that way if I was fishing that way, but...
and I get it too. I mean, they want to enjoy the time that they have out in the water. I completely understand. Like one thing I deal with is like they have two different launches. They have a boat launch and they have a kayak launch. And like the kayak launch doesn't have a dock, and people for some reason just like to launch next to the dock. And next thing you know, you have a 4-H club or Boy Scouts coming with like 70 kayaks, and they're all up in the. Like I can't even dock my boat. Like I get it. I try and be very patient, and I'm not afraid to like. Also, if I see somebody struggling that has never done it, like to go help them. Like, you know how many people I see that are struggling, and there's people on the bank and they just don't help the person. It's like, how can you just not help them? Just go help them.
Yeah, especially when you see it's like, when you see it's a new boat owner and they're having a hard time backing their boat down the ramp, just give them a minute. They'll figure it out. The next 3 times, they'll
give them a minute.
Do it quick.
It's all a learning curve. I mean, we've all been there before, right? I mean, but I think people forget where they come from. Yeah,
I agree. So about your style of fishing, we're going to talk about 4 seasons, right? So right now it's spring, so we're going to start with spring. What is your go-to right now?
Ooh, well, most of the fish right now are probably on beds. Most of your bigger, like are we talking just bass?
Yeah, we're just talking bass. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So if I'm going out, I'm going to go catch some bass. I'm focusing shallow water, like if
6 feet,
a foot. Yeah. No, I'm saying like right now those fish are up. Those fish are tight to the bank, especially with all this rain. Like they're up under hanging bushes. Like you have to get your bait underneath the bush. Like otherwise you're not gonna get a bite. And you're basically just right now. I'm focusing on like Texas rig, soft plastics, or some type of like a reaction lure. Swim jig. I throw a swim jig a lot.
The big fish
with
bait.
Like a I throw a swim jig a lot, mainly because I can skip it really good underneath stuff, and it's pretty weedless. So like I'm not really worried about getting it in, like tight quarters or getting in a tree. Like it comes out. Like it's pretty. And I recommend a Dirty Jigs No Jack. That's my number one jig. Or
they're good jigs.
Core Tackle. Core Tackle just came out with a good jig. I like those because they have like a skirt, but they also have some like shiny. I forget what it's called. Like a shiny material in it. Yeah. Like tinsel. That's it. Okay. They have a tinsel in it, and it's just a little different approach. Sometimes fish haven't seen it, and it just creates a bite. So, so right now I'm probably doing that. I mean, because I'm gonna tell you right now, 95% of people are using a Senko and a wacky rig.
Yeah.
And if you're fishing a lake that gets fished, like I said earlier, it's probably the 100th Senko and a wacky rig that they've seen. So I would change it up. That's why I throw those. So, but swim jig is probably my number one right now. Swim jig or some type of a Texas rig. A lot of people will throw the creature bait on a Texas rig right now. I have been doing really good on a tube, flipping and pitching a tube, because tubes are really good back in the day, and then they kind of fall off. Yeah, so I've been doing good on a tube, and then I've been doing good on an old school lizard. People don't throw lizards anymore.
Yeah, nobody throws lizards anymore.
I try and adapt to to different things that people aren't throwing, and it seems to help. But as the summer goes on, I change my approach really really quick. So
Yeah. They like that. They like
Um,
that action as the water warms up. So anything with
Yeah.
a curly tail.
and less
seems to
weight
work.
too. Like on my
Yeah.
Texas rigs, I've noticed they like the more natural fall. So like a lot of people are going to throw like a 3/8, bullet weight, or they're going to throw like a half ounce bullet weight. I barely ever go over a 3/16. Mostly it's a 3/16 or an eighth bullet weight, and I don't peg my
Mhm.
bullet weight. A lot of people use a bobber stop and peg it. The
Yeah.
only time I peg a bullet weight is if I'm gonna punch grass,
Yeah.
and I need to get the bait down. I really like how with a lighter weight how that bait just naturally falls down, and I do think that sometimes the fish see it and they think that it's another bait fish trying to attack another
Yeah.
bait, like another bait fish, like the soft plastic going down to hit the.
Yep.
And I think that just creates them like, ooh, me like a reaction. But right now it could be tough. Most of the fish are up. Like I would say 90% of your bass are up shallow right now,
Right.
spawning. So a lot of people don't like catch spawning bass. They say you shouldn't take a bass off its bed, but I think if you catch it, just get it back in the water quick.
Yeah, that's the key, right? It's legal to fish for them here, which I think is great, and it's all catch and release right now. I think it's fun.
I think there is something about like you can't. So like I ain't gotta worry about it on my lake because my lake's pretty tannic. You can't really
Yeah.
see unless you're in like 6 inches of water. You can't really see. So, um, but I'm pretty sure. I think in PA it's like you can't actively fish for like if you see the bass on bed, but
You can't target.
I
a
don't
bed,
know how
that's
you
right.
could. You can't target a bit. Yeah. So, but again, I don't. I'm not in that clear of water. So
Yeah.
but
You
you will
you
catch a
could-
smallmouth too, right now.
Yeah, you
Up
could
there,
target
shallow,
the lake that I'm fishing. You could target beds easily. So my way around that is don't get close enough to see the bed. Like you gotta assume they're there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to either. I mean, you want to be. I mean, I have fished lakes where you can see beds, and it's like, I mean, you kind of want to take a stealthy approach. If you were gonna do it, like, I highly recommend don't doing it because it's illegal. But if you don't listen, you want to be a rebel, or if you're fishing a state that you can do it,
Yeah.
I would recommend like trying to go real stealthy, wearing clothes that kind of match the backdrop, not banging your tackle boxes and stuff. Like they know,
Yeah.
they'll just skirt off and come back once you leave. They can see if you could see them, they could see you, right?
Yeah. I think the other thing that you can use for cover is wind. If you have a nice little ripply chop on the top, that usually helps.
So I will if I to get back if we have some wind, if we have like a windier day or windier morning, I will sometimes change my approach of like where I'm gonna go and try and look for some like secondary points off the main lake, and I'll throw like I will throw like a square bill sometimes, or
I love a square bill.
I do really good with it. Yeah, like man, I've caught some nice ones off some square bills, but I'll throw I throw spinnerbait a lot too. If I get a windier day, I'll throw that. Just it seems like windier days, those baits work really really good, and like your more calm days, like I'm going swim jig number one, no doubt.
Yeah. So when you're transitioning into summer, does your favorite bait change? You sticking with swim jigs and just changing the trailer, or what are you doing there?
So, I mean, I think you can catch fish on a swim jig all year round. So I will still throw a swim jig, but I tend to like post spawn. I tend to like slow down a little bit. And one thing I'll say is like if you catch one fish, especially this time of year and in post spawn, like if you catch one, don't be so quick to leave, right? Like catch one, you can cover water, bam, you hook one, you're like, ooh, got one. Then I would spot lock or drop an anchor, spend 15 minutes there and just try and pick it apart, because usually if there's one, there's about three or four. And if one hit the swim jig and you throw the swim jig, 2 or 3 times and you don't get a bite, pick up something else and throw it down there. Maybe like a bottom rig. Like I like using Nico rigs. I throw a Nico rig a ton. Especially when the fishing gets tough. I tend to go, to like a Nico rig, something more finessey.
I love to power finesse in that setting, right? An ounce or an ounce and a half tube head and do the Kraken thing where you're moving that tube like
like stroking a jig, kind of like you crack it up and let it fall down.
Yeah, you're only moving it a couple inches. So, and technically tube is kind of a finessey bait, and you're just dragging it really slow like that. So still finesse presentation with power weights, right? That's a punching size weight, but it's pretty cool when you catch them like that.
So I do I'll do the same thing. Like I'll go real light sometimes. Like my Nico rigs, I think I throw like a 3/32 nail weight in it, and I just go really really slow. Especially as the summer goes on, and every fish has seen so many things. Literally just showing them something they haven't seen is like a key to a lot of stuff. Is like, but I will throw like a finesse football jig where it's a half-ounce football jig, but it's like the size a little bit bigger than a $50, right? Where it's finessey. It's smaller presentation than your average size jig, so it just gets a different look. Fish are like, oh, I haven't seen that, and man, I can't tell you how many 5-pound bass I caught last year off of like a micro jig.
Yeah, like, that's pretty cool.
A lot of people think big baits, big bass. Like I've caught a lot more bigger bass off of smaller baits than you would think, but I think once you start getting more deeper into like the hot of summer, like you start getting into August, and that water temp starts getting in the 80s. Like I think last year I saw the water temp up to like 86. I focus on shade, and then I have caught a lot of bass just in general off of doing a Carolina rig and running like a 12-inch black worm.
Oh, that's torture.
Like just yeah. Now it is torture, but it's something that I haven't seen, and like I fished, a little bit offshore a little bit. I like to focus more on, maybe like that 10 to 15 foot range of water, 20 foot. I mean, the lake I go to, some of the deep spots are 76 feet. So
yeah, it's a deep lake.
I do think, and
that's like almost.
I do
right
think
from the
a lot of
bank,
those
too.
fish. Oh yeah, I mean, there's spots where I can almost touch the bank and I'm in 35 feet of water.
Yeah.
So like a lot of your channel swings, which is where I find a lot of big fish like to lay, especially muskie too, because there's muskie in there.
Yeah.
But something about just a big old black worm. I don't know. It's just
they work, man.
I don't think a lot of people are throwing 12. Yeah, I don't. I mean.
No, it wears you out. You're throwing a half ounce weight with a 12-inch worm. It wears you out, man.
God. Yeah.
It's like I
make sure
never
you have
know
a good
how.
setup.
Like these bass anglers are like, oh, they're just fishing. I think Kevin Van Dam is in shape. I don't know how you can't be in shape and throw a crankbait like that all day. that wears you out, man.
Even when I throw even my swim jig, I'm usually throwing a 3/8, and it's like a lot of time I'm doing like an Alabama shake, right? So you're just popping it as you're like reeling it, and after a while you're like, man, my arms are shot at the end of the day. And then some of these guys are throwing these like 2-3 ounce glide baits all day, and I'm like, good Lord.
I spent like 2 or 3 years muskie fishing, and I mean I don't know how. I spent a lot of time like in May. Mostly muskie fishing, April, May, June maybe, and like throwing those big double blade
Oof, yeah,
pound
boosters. Yeah,
my arms would hurt
like a cowbell.
Yeah, we need more of it.
Yeah, we definitely do. Yeah.
So
gotta really expand the area.
Now, are you spending a lot of time transitioning from summer to fall? Or are you kind of just like, hey, it's deer season now?
So no, I'll go out. Like I said, earlier, like if I'm on like say I'm on a deer that I would like to go after, I should know when I need to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go in and booger it up, especially because I hunt tight to bedding and some thick stuff, and like I don't need my scent in there any more than it needs to be. Um, so I'll spend a lot of times. I spend a lot of time just fishing. Like October, if it's 80, 75, 80 degrees, like
October is
I'd
such a
rather
good
be out in a
month.
boat than sit in a tree.
I-
Yeah, yeah. But I do notice October, November, December might be the best month to fish for bass.
Yeah. I
Even
like
January,
May.
too.
May is fantastic. Uh, May is really really good, but there's something about October that might be a little bit better, especially
Yeah.
because you can
And a lot of your
throw.
fish will start to move back up.
Yeah, and you can throw so many different baits and so many different colors, and it's it can be pretty fun. And they're starting to school a lot, so you get that that kind
Yeah.
of transition is pretty cool.
Yeah. And all your like if you have a lake that has like a shad spawn and stuff, all those shad fryer are
Yeah.
up to a good size, and they move shallow. And I mean, I tell you what, I don't really throw a lot of top water early, but October, November, December, I'm throwing a buzz
Yeah.
bait.
Yeah, you can throw a
Or a
buzz bait
frog,
all day long,
or some type
all
of-
day long.
Oh my
Frogs,
God.
yeah. Oh, oof, I love it.
It's just something about that time of year that
I
just
love
top
bass
water seems to only work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love bass fishing, man. So
There is something special about a top water bite. There's nothing like it, right? I mean,
right, like I can't say
It's-
it's my absolute favorite. It is really really
Yeah.
awesome when you get that toilet flusher.
It's
I
cool.
love it. But
oof.
there's other things too, man. I love you mentioned punching. I love I don't get I don't
Yeah.
do it often enough. Most of the lakes I
Yeah.
fish don't get big old weed mats on top. But I remember I was fishing this lake in Canada, and we found this big bay. It was probably 60 acres on a 2,000 acre lake or something, and there were mats that were maybe like anywhere from 5x5 to like 20 feet wide, right? And we were ounce and a half flipping things way up in the air and punching them through this. And you get a bass on
Yep.
the end of that thing, it feels like a 5-pounder
Oh my
every time
God.
until you get it out and it's like a little
Oh
dink.
my God.
It's so fun though.
I know.
And
But
when you-
it's like, and then you're throwing like 65-pound braid, and you just
Yeah.
you just let them have it.
it's so fun.
Yeah.
But when you do catch a big one in there, man, whoo, baby.
Oof.
And there's a lot of
Yeah, you
big
better
bass
be-
that live under that stuff.
Question for you: Do you throw like do you run up like mostly braid on like your rods, or do you throw like a 4 carbon leader to your braid?
So if I'm
you just use
if
straight
I'm
fluorocarbon?
fishing, yeah, if I'm fishing sparse weeds, even to thick weeds, I'm probably using fluorocarbon.
Mhm.
And if I'm fishing like moderately dense to heavy weed cover, I just use braid almost all the time, 65 or 85-pound braid. But if I'm punching, it's probably 85-pound braid.
Yeah.
But if I'm
Yeah.
fishing pretty sparse weeds and really clear water, I'm either using straight fluorocarbon or I'm doing an FG knot, to braid. I like braid as a backing. Even if I'm doing a 14-foot leader,
Yep.
you can that FG knot goes straight through your guides like nothing. It's very worth learning to tie. The braid, especially on a bait casting reel, tangles so much less than fluorocarbon or monofilament.
Oh man.
You can
yeah,
get
it's
it
definitely
out so
easier
much
to
easier.
pick out a backlash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And you don't get those. Your line doesn't twist as much on a spinning rod with it doesn't like pop off the bail like fluorocarbon does. you
Yeah,
know?
because there's no memory to it.
There's no memory, right? So it is the FG knot is pretty worth learning to tie. And if I'm fishing really clear water, I'm just doing a longer one. The other thing that's cool about it is if I'm gonna drop shot braid to an FG knot to a 14-foot leader, you feel it so much better. I mean, fluorocarbon doesn't really have any.
The sensitivity is just so much. It's so crazy.
Yeah, exactly. The only negative to it, like if you're running a crankbait, you won't get the depth out of it if you're using braid, quite like you would for fluorocarbon because it floats. So you do have it's really probably splitting hairs unless you're trying to fish, 30 feet of water with a crankbait or whatever. But what is
I think on my crankbait rods, I just run 10-pound for all my crankbait rods just so I can get the most depth that I can.
Yeah, same.
That's
real
and then
nice.
All my spinning rods is braid to 4-0.
Yeah, real nice crankbait rod is like a real, like a 7.5 foot pole, with like a 5.1, or a 5.2 gear ratio on that bait casting rod. That'll get it down deep.
Yeah, I like if I'm using like square bills or smaller size, like shallow. I have a jerkbait rod it's an arc rod.
Yeah.
And it's a 610 medium fast action, and I have that hooked up to an arc gravity reel. I think it's a 6.4-1. But my deeper diver is a 7.6 that I run like 10 deeper, up to 30 feet. That's a 7.6 Meta. It's a glass rod, and I have a Akuma Halogen like 5.4-1 thing on that, just slower.
There's the slower rod gets that down deep.
You can definitely get it down, and it's a glass rod. Like if you could feel everything on a glass rod.
Yeah, crankbait.
If you're a big crankbait fisherman, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I do like power fishing every now and then. I'm not a huge crankbait guy, but if you can get on if there's a crankbait bite, it's fun. But otherwise, you're just like dredging up the bottom the whole time.
And you're catching every rock and you're getting snagged and
gets frustrating.
You're losing more crankbaits than you have. Yeah, it's crazy.
What is your what's your go-to finesse presentation?
My go-to finesse presentation, probably. Like you mean bait?
Yeah.
Like bait, okay.
Or technique.
Yeah, I like the drop shot a lot.
I love the drop shot.
I feel like it's more effective in clearer water. I like anything that's on the bottom, but I've done really good on a hair jig, or a marabou jig, like a small marabou jig, and just popping it off the. Things. 3/16 marabou jig, 1/4 ounce marabou jig. It's so small, and I've caught it just catches fish, so you'll catch a bunch of fish, but it also catches big fish because it's just something they don't really see. And there's something about feathers on or hair on a lure that I think it attracts any type of species, right? It's in their DNA. May remind them of a crawfish, or may remind them of a mayfly or something.
Yeah.
But I will tell you what, if someone said you have one finesse presentation to use, it's going to be a Berkley Max Scent cut tail worm on a Nico rig, and I'm gonna just really slow hop it along the bottom, like as slow as I can. And
very cool.
I'll probably put, if it's windy, I'll probably put like an 1/8 on. And if it's not windy and it's dead calm, I'll probably put like a 3/32 on, or even down to a 1/16. And I just make sure that bait's on the bottom, and I just hop it really, really slow, and it catches fish. It just works.
Very cool.
Have you ever fished a Nico rig?
I have not. Usually, if I'm finesse fishing, I'm usually using like a flick shake on a drop shot. Most of the lakes I flick fish are pretty clear. Northeastern Pennsylvania kind of stuff. So Flick shake on a drop shot. I like a tube, like a lighter tube. When
Yeah, I throw a lot of tubes. I do throw a lot of tubes.
Tubes are like probably what I start with 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I almost have to leave them at home if I'm not going to throw them first. And sometimes I do that, right? Like, I am determined to learn something, and I am only taking these out. And then I'm like, you see all these fish, and I'm like, oh, I should have brought a tube.
Yeah. I bring everything. I thought about doing that, and I'm like, because I love throwing a spinnerbait. I've caught majority of my, like, the bigger bass I've ever caught usually comes on a spinnerbait. And I'm throwing like a big bladed spinnerbait, like a number 6 or number 7 size blade where it just thumps. Especially in tannic water. Something like they can't really see very far, so you got to give them something. And then I'm usually throwing like white on a spinnerbait. Like most of the time I throw like a white chartreuse, or I'll throw black. Like,
yeah.
Those are the 3. I don't make it crazy. I don't go get.
I don't think
like
you need to get real crazy
Charlotte's
with
Web
colors.
Sunday or black, white, green pumpkin. That's all you need.
Yep.
That's all you need.
I agree with that.
I throw black a lot. I throw white a lot. But yeah, I would say a Nico rig. I'm gonna challenge you to go test that next time. You let me know how you make out. I'll send you a couple of details. And
now I gotta change my shopping list. Here we go.
Tackle Warehouse coming to the door.
I do love Tackle Warehouse. You spend $125, you get a t-shirt.
Well, they should give me more than that. I've spent way more than that with them.
Yeah, but it's not like a $1,500 hat you get when you buy a bow or a pair of binoculars. So.
Yeah, I got that meaning for that. I don't even know where my Prime hat is anymore. I lost that.
I lost mine in the lake.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What is your favorite search bait?
Spinnerbait.
Spinnerbait.
Or a swim jig.
I'm a jerk.
Spinnerbait or swim jig. I mean, you just cover
baits.
You just cover so much water with it. Jerk baits, yeah.
Yeah,
I think jerk baits. I've caught a lot of fish off of jerk bait, but I don't know. I just yeah. Some days I feel like they're on, and some days I just feel like they're just not.
That's.
I have been trying to dabble. Along with. Another one that's kind of like a little sneaky one that I use a lot as a search bait is a underspin.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
So I'll get like a owner underspin. Owner makes a great underspin.
Yeah, they make great stuff.
Period. EWG hook. Oh yeah, I love Owner. I'll just hook that up to. Most people know like a swim bait. Like everybody uses a Kitech, right? I will match it up to like I like. Ooh, giving away all my stuff.
You don't have to give away too many secrets, man.
Nah, it's okay. I just want people to catch fish. I could care less. I'll go behind you and I'll still catch fish. The guy behind me is gonna catch fish. I mean, the other day a guy fished his bank and he was 40 feet from me and he fished it. I don't think he caught anything and I pulled a 4.6 out of it, the same spot, on a tube. So and he's just like staring at me and I'm like, well, keep throwing that chatterbait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love throwing old baits, man.
An underspin.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you have to. Like, I don't know if you know what this is. You know what a sluggo is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe not.
It's like an old school. So Zoom makes their fluke, right? So before the Zoom came out with their fluke and all these people came out with these fluke, soft plastic jerk baits, way back in the day. I mean, probably my dad threw it when I was 3 years old, and I just always remember him saying, "You want to catch a big one, you got to throw a sluggo." People don't even know what a sluggo is nowadays, but I tell you what, they're still out there. You can still get them, and you can still catch some really big fish on a sluggo.
You know what? I caught a lot of smallmouth. I caught a ton of smallmouth on. Did you ever hear of a river runt?
Oh,
it's like
no.
It basically looks like. It looks like a husky jerk almost, but the face is cut kind of weird.
Okay.
And Hedon made it. Like the same, like who made a jitterbug?
Yeah.
They had I don't know what that one's called. It's like a crazy crawler where the wings come out when you reel. The wings come out to the side, and it kind of just does a little wobble.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
That's
I know what you're talking about.
that's I think a crazy crawler, and then they have the jitterbug with the big like bowl lip. But
Yep.
the river runt
Yeah.
is a little. It's kind of a shallow running crankbait. But man, that thing, I crushed smallmouth on that thing in the river close to
Oh
home.
yeah.
A lot of fun. But those are those are antique lures. I was
But
like,
they
my
still
dad's like,
work.
yeah, he's
Like
like,
they
you know,
still
that's worth
work,
a lot of money.
and I
Yeah.
think people just get off of them.
Yeah,
People get
yeah.
off them. They're all like on this new trend of like these minnows and these glide baits, and I get it, but like I tell you what, you go get a
glide
lizard
bait-
and you go around pads and you just pitch pads, you're gonna catch fish on a lizard.
Yeah.
It's not cool
glide-
throwing a lizard, but you're still gonna catch fish.
Yeah. The glide bait thing was kind of cool. I fished when I was fishing for muskies so hard. We were fishing in April on a 31-acre lake that's stocked with muskies. That was a little too specific. I might beep some of that out.
No.
We were fishing a small lake, a very small lake for muskies, and I was using Rapala just came out with a gliding wrap. It's like a 6-inch, you know, and I was just like slowly yanking this thing, and the rod loaded up, dude. I caught I don't know how big it was because I didn't have a scale. I have a picture of it. It's probably a 6.5 pounder. Now that I've caught fish that are like 4 or 5 pounds, this was way bigger still than any fish I've ever caught.
Yeah.
And I haven't caught that many 5-pounders, but enough to know like this fish was special. But I caught that thing, and I swore I was reeling a muskie in because it was at the time it was the biggest bass I'd ever caught. So, and it's like on this giant bait,
They're so hard to target muskies. They say they're the fish of 50,000 cast.
Yeah.
I've only ever hooked one in my life, and it
I
lasted
was
for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was sight fishing them a lot, and I was getting a lot of follows, a lot of strikes, and I hooked one close to the bank, and I only got one hook in on the back end of a bucktail, and it like fishtailed. It was a giant fish, but I had a friend, and I was like, so these people were watching me, and they're like, I could hear them saying, we're gonna try to snag that fish when he leaves. So I had to go to work, and I called my buddy, and I'm like, you need to come down here and catch this fish. So we traded spots. He got there and I left. And I didn't know he didn't have heavy tackle, but he had musky sized lures, right? So he throws this oversized jitterbug and caught this thing on his third cast on 6-pound line, and somehow,
oh my god,
amazingly
landed
it.
it.
It was 42 inches. It was big. It was a big tiger.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I was glad he caught it.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, there's some.
It's
big
only a matter
ones
of
in
time
that
until I
lake.
get one. I'm pretty sure I've hooked a couple already, and just like, I had one. I don't know. Back in March, I was fishing, and he hit a spinnerbait, and I set, loaded, and gone. I'm pretty sure it was a muskie. I was throwing like 15-pound Seagar and Vizix on it. Like,
Yeah, I know there's no pike in that lake, but pike are one of those things where you just like you feel a little tick and then complete weightlessness because you don't have a lure left.
There are
All
chain
right.
pickerel. There are chain pickerel in there, but they're hard to catch.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that I really want to catch them.
Well, they're hard if you don't have weeds and stuff. They like, obviously you have weeds, but it's not. They like shallow, weedy bays and stuff. That's the easiest place to catch them.
Yeah.
Once they get deep on ledges, they're way hard to catch.
Most of the weeds at the lake is just like hydrilla. So
Yeah.
a lot of hydrilla. They
So
don't like that stuff.
this is we're gonna go into the storytelling time. So I have 2 things I want you to tell people. I want you to tell people about a real memorable intentional bass that you caught that was, again, memorable. It doesn't have to be the biggest bass you caught or whatever, just the most memorable, and the most unintentional bass you ever caught. Like For
All right.
example, one of my buddies said when he was a kid, his cousin hooked a marshmallow onto a thing and threw it out over the back of his shoulder and caught a 5-pounder. And
That's
hit the
insane.
top of yeah. So
That's
something
insane.
like that for an unintentional
So
catch.
we'll start. So intentional was probably my biggest largemouth I've caught, which is a 711, and I was 16 years old,
Nice.
overweight, in a little 8-foot john boat, in a rainstorm with oars, and my oar broke, so I was only down to one oar, but I was fishing this lake up in the Poconos and fished it my whole life, and it was known for having bigger sized largemouth. That's when a lot of people didn't fish and it wasn't really populated, so like fish lived. But I was fishing out there, and I will never forget it because I was fishing next to these lily pads, and I hook it on I think I was using a Cesaro Spook at the time, and
I love spooks.
I had it, and oh dude, they're crazy. Just walk the dog, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And I got it, and I could see it was big, and at that time I didn't know. I was using 6-pound monofilament on a spinning rod. Like I just had what I had. I just fished with what I had. So,
Back then, you didn't
so
really
I got
realize
it in.
you didn't imagine a
No.
fish being big enough to break 6-pound line.
Right. But I also knew, like, my dad taught me about the drag and stuff. So, like, I had my drag set, but I'll never forget, like, I got it, and I didn't have a net. So, as I'm catching this fish, I get to the boat, I'm fighting it, and I go to grab it in the mouth. And as I grab it, right, I grab the fish, but the hooks go in my hand.
Oh no!
So, I'm like, oh no. So now the hook's in my hand, and I got the fish, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna keep this thing because it was the biggest fish, and at that time I didn't know what it weighed. I just knew I could fit both my fist in the fish's mouth.
Yeah.
Right. I knew his mouth's that big, but now I have one oar, and I have a Cesaro Spook stuck in my hand. So, long story short, I paddled back with one oar and called my dad, and he came and got me, and he got me to the house, and I'm like, we gotta go to the hospital. He's like, no, I'm gonna pull it out, and he pulled it out. But that's probably my most memorable fish, my biggest bass, and also a hook in my hand. But for intentional, intentional, it wasn't a bass. I caught like a 29-inch chain pickerel on a goldfish once.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we were just messing around. I was young again, just out messing around. Actually, no, correction. It wasn't a goldfish. Sorry. It was a Swedish fish. Sorry, it was a red Swedish fish.
Oh man,
And
that's way
yeah,
better.
it was a red Swedish fish. So I just had it on a size 6 little eagle claw with a leader hook and a drop shot, and I was just kind of like jigging it and as a joke, and I hooked this chain pickerel, and it was like probably like 4-pound chain pickerel, but that was probably that was the best unintentional.
Well, that's the upper end for chain pickerel. You know, like that 30-inch.
Yeah.
That's a big. You know, when you're talking like a 29-inch pike, you're like, oh yeah, that's a nice one, and you can tell it's like an immature fish. It's skinny. It's not that strong. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It fights,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's not a wild ride. You know, a 29-inch chain. I've caught a couple that are. I've caught 2. I think that were 26. Or maybe I caught one that was 28.
Yeah,
I can't. It's been a while since I caught a big one. But you can tell when you're fighting a mature fish because that thing, at like the upper limit of how big they can get, a 29-inch chain pickerel is a big chain pickerel.
Oh yeah, all the head shakes too, man. Whew.
Yeah, and they bite.
You can feel it. You can start to. Oh man, they're crazy. I'll tell you what, I don't like them because I don't like pickerel. But they are fun to catch.
Yeah, catch them and eat them.
They were fun to catch.
They're actually pretty good to eat.
Yeah, you could pickle them.
Yeah,
you could pickle them. Pickling them is good.
Yeah, you can pickle them. You can fillet them and get bones out. You just have to take your time getting those little Y bones out. But they're actually pretty good.
See, that's one thing. I don't know. I mean, I like to eat fish, but I hate cleaning fish. That's why a lot of times I just catch and release because I just don't enjoy cleaning them. I have no problem, doing a deer, butchering a deer. There's just something about cleaning a fish. I don't know. I don't enjoy that part of it. So
yeah, I went through a phase where I didn't like it that much. Now I'm back into I'll catch a pile of panfish and clean them up. I have a Bubba blade. That makes a big difference, that electric blade.
Yeah.
You can do 50 fish.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, you can do 50
I
fish.
I will tell you something,
minutes.
though. There is something good about, like, taking some crappier perch and just doing, like, a beer batter and frying it. There is something special about that, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking. See?
Yeah. Or just getting a bunch of, like, some sunfish or some brim or something, and just doing like little J hooks, and then doing like a poor man's shrimp. That's what we used to call it, like a fish fry, like a poor man's shrimp. I don't know. There is something special. So it is worth it. Maybe I should get back into.
That's what I'm talking about. See,
I'm
gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. You need to come up and do some pan fishing.
You're gonna get me in shape.
Yeah.
Oh, we should.
You need
I got a little secret worm for you to try next time. Let me know how it works out because I catch a ton of them. I'll send you the link. I can't give away all my secrets.
Yeah, don't give away all your secrets. A couple, you gave away quite a few. The bass fishing.
I gave a lot. People know where I'm at.
The bass fishing.
I'm okay. I don't care.
Yeah, like you said, you'll go and catch them anyway. The bass fishing in my local lakes here is pretty freaking good. It's more. I have not figured out how to catch big ones yet. It's more of a numbers thing for me right now. The smallmouth are bigger most of the time. However, the panfish are trophy-sized fish. They are in the upper age.
Yeah, you
class.
sent me some pictures the one time. I was like, dude, that thing is huge. Like 2-pound panfish over there.
Yeah, did I send you the picture of the bluegill I caught? I think it was last year I caught that thing.
I don't know. You sent me one picture of a bluegill, and I'm like, that might be it looked like a damn piranha.
They're big, man. I try not to keep the real big ones because they get kind of a little on the fishy tasting side anyway. But you're not. Big bluegills take a long time to grow like that. So I try not to keep the real big ones. I try to keep like the mid-range size because they're better to eat anyway. But yeah, man, we got to get some fishing in together this summer, and I definitely want to have you on again. We're gonna talk some deer hunting this fall. But dude, I appreciate you coming on. We've been chatting now for an hour and a half about fishing. This was a fantastic podcast, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime. I wish I could give somebody some social media accounts to ask questions and stuff, but unfortunately, I do not have anything. And
listen,
that'll never change. So
this is Dave Norman. He's the real deal. He does not have social media, so you can't find him. How about that? Dude,
there you go.
Appreciate it again.
You want to find me, you can find me on the lake.
That's right. All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Well, folks, thanks for joining us on In Camp Podcast, where we cover everything outdoors. You can check us out on Instagram at incamp_podcast to see all the stuff that we have going on over there. Maybe a little bit of information about everything that's going on in the woods, in the water, in the field, wherever you're at. Maybe in the tent camping, a little bit of camping this summer. Hope you get to. Hope you enjoy a campfire with your family. Hope you enjoy a fish fry this summer and some grilling of the venison. Give our show a share, give it a review, give it a rating. It'll really help spread the word, get us around the block. So we appreciate you listening. This is In Camp Podcast.